Up to put this on Fox 10 Phoenix Facebook Live as well. Everybody, our second chase of the night. This one happening in Los Angeles yet again. You can hear the newsroom going crazy right now. Everybody rushing to put this on Fox 10 Facebook Live. I'm your host, Mary Kay Gaffney. Thanks for joining me tonight. Take a look at this police chasing right now a suspect on the road there. Here's what we know so far. Looks like LAPD on the scene, following and requesting 2 additional units at this time. This police chase in LA. Thanks for joining me tonight. Let's see how this all turns out. Again, I've got to tell you guys, this is the second chase that we've covered this evening. The last one was just about an hour and a half ago when I had my co-host Mike Page here with me. But this one I'm going to have to do solo, you guys. A police chase. This guy heading pretty fast.
But yeah, from where they're traveling at this point, it's going to be on the 101 northbound, heading out of the city of Los Angeles and then more into the suburbs, Calabasas, Thousand Oaks, Westlake, those areas. Calabasas made famous by
the Kardashians.
That's where they live. A lot of celebrities live in that area. So, kind of keeping an eye on what's going on here.
And it looks like we did hear from Twitter here that it's a 2013 blue Dodge Avenger. That's coming from the official scanner account, LAPD Hollywood. They have a bunch of gang unit officers on the scene as well.
So this, person, could it be a wanted gang member who stole a car? Maybe they were watching the person beforehand and then actually saw the actual vehicle being stolen.
And they keep hashtagging GTA. I'm assuming they mean Grand Theft
Auto.
Grand Theft
Auto.
So the stolen
and then
ride.
there's something written on the front of that car along the top of the windshield there. I can't make it out. But,
I didn't even notice that.
I'm not sure what that is, so I don't know if no idea what that may say, but really has nothing to do with it.
Southbound on the 101, Van Nuys is going to be the next one. But, what's going to happen with California Highway Patrol? They might have a totally different stance. They might get right behind this car, lights and sirens, might be a full-blown pursuit once again, or they might do much of the same thing. They might just get behind them and just kind of hang there and follow them. Right now, though, helicopter's still overhead. If the California Highway Patrol is going to get... If the California, I'm sorry about that. What I just heard, the newest information I just heard is that now we're hearing LAPD is just giving it up. They're walking away. It doesn't mean the helicopter is going to stop following them, but that does mean for sure that the LAPD is going to drop out of it, and that's because California Highway Patrol is here. Now, those are the ground units. But as for the helicopter, they did, and there's... there's the 1st Highway Patrol unit, and the helicopter is definitely going to stay overhead, assisting California Highway Patrol, and now it's back into a pursuit mode. That we don't know. Dark windows all the way around that nobody's actually even said. We can't even confirm that it's a male driver right now. We just know that there is somebody driving. Obviously, it's not going to be one of those self-driving cars yet. But right now, this car is being pursued by California Highway Patrol. Speeds now starting to pick up just a little bit. Earlier on, when we first got overhead, he was probably pushing the 90 limit, passing cars on the freeway very, very quickly, and then they turned off their lights and sirens, and he slowed down. Went back to about 60, 65 miles an hour. Now, you can see the speeds are picking up once again. California Highway Patrol has picked this up. A low jack or some sort of tracking device inside that car is what got the attention of the LAPD earlier on. But right now, we're continuing south on the 101. We are passing, we're past Van Nuys, and we're continuing on, and we're going to be coming up to the Studio City area here pretty shortly. So this is where it slows down. You can see that car is slowing down as well. If he gets off the freeway, I'm really curious to see if LAPD picks it up. The only time that we know that it was on a surface street was for some very short amount of time up in the Calabasas area. It was on Agora Road for a little bit, and then it basically made a big U-turn. It got off the northbound 101, and then got back onto the southbound 101 up there in the Calabasas area. And it was just moments on the road, basically, as it got off the freeway and made that big turn to get back onto the freeway. That's the only time we've seen it off the freeway. And you can see the traffic right now really starting to build, that car slowing down, and other people doing what they're supposed to do when you have lights and sirens behind you. They're moving out of the way, but it's actually clearing a path for that suspect to continue on. We want to tell all our viewers where we are. It's going to be Studio City area for sure right now on the southbound 101, and it's kind of an interesting thing to see. Like, you can see the reds and blues in those rearview mirrors flashing every now and then. So you know that guy knows that the officers are behind him. He is still driving a little bit slower. It looks like he's going to be pretty much confirmed now. Yes, he is. He's going to stay on the southbound 101. So we're going to be heading into the Universal City area. But yeah, then Hollywood. But that's kind of where it started, so I'm curious to see if he's going to get off the freeway. Right now, though, look at that. Just a couple of blinking lights, and the roads are getting clear for that suspect. But he isn't really hammering it, and he isn't going much faster than you would think he would be. Very slow moving now on the freeway, probably less than freeway speeds. 2013 Avenger, stolen vehicle. Apparently, California Highway Patrol wants this guy to stop, and he's not. You guys can see right there, we're approaching Vineland, and it looks like he may be taking the off-ramp. Oh, there he goes. He's not.
Here's what we know so far. Suspect is male and African-American. Keys were left in the car. Stolen vehicle. Police have been pursuing him for quite some time now. About an hour ago, a person did report that their Dodge was stolen. That's when LAPD requested choppers to get up in the air and start looking for this guy. And that's what you're seeing now as he's making some moves here, hitting some traffic at the moment. Let me turn up the sound a little bit, see if the reporter inside the news chopper is saying anything right now.
I heard you mention about Google Maps. Love the Google Maps, but you can see him right there trying to work his way. Other people trying to get out of the way, and this guy is taking advantage of that, creating these open lanes. Very, very slow moving. Are they going to use the pit out here? I don't think so. Not with all this kind of traffic around him. It would be interesting to see, that's for sure. California Highway Patrol right up on that vehicle, though. This is probably the closest we've seen it all evening. That's going to be Santa Monica in the center of your shot right there. That's Santa Monica Boulevard, obviously, not the city of. We're in Hollywood. And that car is still moving along very, very slowly. California Highway Patrol, they got one car there. They've got other ones in the area. And, they've been talking about this also. They're going to start switching it off. So just like LAPD has several different divisions, California Highway Patrol has several different divisions. They don't have one thing that does all the freeways. So they're going to be handing this off to another division here shortly. So we might see that SUV swap out to something else. This driver getting a little bit more aggressive now. There's going to be something to watch. We'll see if he gets off the freeway. No, just want to see it.
Looks like this is when it starts curving into downtown. The suspect on southbound 101 approaching very slowly towards Melrose. Let's see what this guy's going to do. Again, if you're just joining us, this is a suspect in a stolen vehicle. Police have been pursuing this guy for over an hour now. They're approaching pretty closely now. Viewer discretion is advised. We never know how these police chases are going to end. Thanks for choosing us, Fox 10 Phoenix Facebook Live, as well as Fox News Now YouTube stream to watch this chase happen. Looks like something might be coming to an end here. Possibly. I might have to cut out of this if it gets violent, you guys. Looks like the driver did exit on Vermont. Taking a slow turn here. Let's see how this driver handles this situation here. Again, a stolen vehicle tonight. You guys, we do know the suspect is an African-American male in this stolen blue vehicle here tonight. It's about 8 o'clock in Los Angeles. Police are approaching slowly here. Now, for a while, they did say they were going to back off and let it just be up to air control. Let them monitor this, but it looks like they're back on this pursuit full on now. What is this driver going to do? Let's watch this live here on the Fox News Now stream.
And then they turned on their lights and sirens, and that's when it started as a failure to yield and then became a pursuit. We passed Melrose as we're working our way now northbound on the 101. We've passed Melrose. That was the last off-ramp that we just saw. So we're working our way back into the Hollywood area. He's basically threading the needle through a lot of traffic out here. A lot of people out there, you're probably seeing this and hearing this, and maybe they are listening to our good friends at KNX, and maybe they're playing it, and they realize this is coming. Don't try to do anything to stop it. We learned that from the LAPD is that they don't really want the public's help to stop a vehicle like this. So if you see it coming, just obey the laws. Be predictable. That's what they're always saying. Be predictable. Meaning if you see the lights and sirens or you hear the lights and sirens, do what you're supposed to do. The helicopter now telling the ground units very heavy traffic coming up, so they're expecting this to almost be stopped here in just a minute.
Well, that was the reporter giving us an update live from the news chopper there in Los Angeles. It's about 9:04 here in Phoenix, but we're streaming this event out of Los Angeles where it's around 8 o'clock there right now. Again, this is a stolen vehicle, and for those of you who are wondering what it says on that windshield there, it's 909 graphics. Some of you guys tweeted that to me. Thank you for sending that in case some of you guys were wondering what it said on the front of that car there. Here it looks like police are just getting closer and closer to this suspect. Let's see if we can get a better shot here as the driver keeps moving forward. Again, for those of you who are wondering, this is what we know right now. Suspect is an African-American male in this blue stolen vehicle. We've been streaming this for about an hour and a half now, and this is actually the second police chase that we have streamed tonight for you guys. This one lasting a lot longer, and we do have to warn you guys, viewer discretion is advised. If you have kids in the room, we just got to warn you guys, this is raw footage. I might have to cut out of this if guns are drawn, so let's just keep an eye on this together as we stream this live on Fox News Now. Now, he's making a slow turn at this moment. Let's see what he decides to do, you guys. And again, if you're also want to mention right now, LAPD advising Hollywood units to stay out of this pursuit. They want to handle this independently right now. Driver moving very slow, as we heard from our reporter in the news chopper there, wondering why, if he's just teasing the officers, if something's going on. A lot of times when we stream these chases, you guys, the drivers are on the phone making calls to friends and family because they know they're caught. They know this is going to come to an end shortly. So we'll see how this suspect handles everything. But again, we know that this is happening in California right now, westbound Hollywood from Bronson. Blue stolen vehicle tonight, you guys.
Reading the sign, California Highway Patrol. They're the ones right behind them. Are they trying to hand it off to the LAPD? Well, yes. But this is the first time we've seen these doors pop open right there. That's the first time we've seen something like that. But that's only because the officers are taking advantage of it. Take a look at that. I think that's going to be the W Hotel. You got some people out there with their phones out. They're going to, look for that on Twitter. I got to tell you, this is the world we live in today. It is all about the social media, what we see, what's going on. But on the sidewalk itself, you got some just people out there right now just just kind of like doing the what the heck is going on here. This is a pursuit. Welcome to California, folks. Probably a lot of these people are going to be tourists. Now we're going to keep on moving. We're passing Vine. Very, very slow moving, but it is continuing on. This is a pursuit. This guy is wanted for failure to yield. That's a stolen vehicle that's moving so slowly that my pilot Travis today doesn't know if we should stop and then just hang out or go. I don't know why he's going so slow. It is beyond me. Something we do see right now, something has changed out. That right there, not California Highway Patrol. That right there, that's going to be LAPD. That's going to be Hollywood Division. They've got their guns out. Argyle. Let me double check. We'll get you another one here in a second. I got to listen to LAPD. Slow rate of speed. Okay, I'm listening to it. That was Coanga. That was Coanga. So LAPD's joining the game, and they are, you know what? They are bringing game. Now they're talking about spike strips. Now they're talking about pit maneuver. You know, it makes it a little bit more exciting. At least it's more to see, especially if you're watching this in some other places. We just passed Musso and Frank's. Great place to eat if you're out here. It's also a landmark out here in the Hollywood, in California, especially in Hollywood. Stopping at another light, Las Palmas, and that was, but you can see every time that this vehicle stops, LAPD gets out, doors pop open, windows are, guns are out. Take a look at these officers. They are not in any kind of playful mood at all. Car's probably starting to go again as the light turns green. He's waving his hand out the window, and slow rate of speed out past Las Palmas, Hollywood Boulevard. Look at that. People on the sidewalk pulling out their phones. Everybody's trying to grab pictures of it. This is why you can't just sit here and start poking fun at things like this. Somebody out there on the street wanted to get a selfie with the car. It looks like that's what they were doing right there. Not sure if that was the plan or not, but obviously something you don't want to do. Now that the pursuit continues on, there's the wax factory, or the wax museum right there. We're going to be approaching Highland. I just kind of know this area. But the pursuit continues on, very slow moving. We haven't seen officers use any kind of opportunity to stop that vehicle. But he's kind of creeping up right there, creep, and he's going to get next to that utility truck. It's going to be Highland Boulevard. If he goes north, he can probably get back onto the freeway. He seemed to like the freeways, even though not moving much faster. At least when he's on the streets, we got something else to see. Right now, though, Hollywood. This is Hollywood and Highland. Very busy intersection. You got sheriffs out here, probably not involved in the pursuit, probably just out here just doing their thing, patrolling the area, probably for the subways. Just happened to be here. LAPD right there. Real. Officers are from LAPD are out here. This light has been red forever, what seems like forever. This is Hollywood and Highland. There we go. Finally a green light. Now we're going to see what happens. But you can see there's officers from LAPD all around this intersection. He's making his move now very, very slowly. We heard the words that there might have been some spike strips in the area. We haven't seen them, and possibly they weren't able to deploy them. There you go. You got a camera person on the side of the road right there. Don't know if that's a stringer or somebody from a station. Again, this is what you don't want to do. This is what officers from LAPD talk about constantly, how they hate this type of interaction with the public. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if that person's got a gun. They're worried about your safety. They're worried about everybody's safety. What's going on here? Spike strips. So Jeff Susie, Hollywood Boulevard, right in front of the the old Chinese theater, and you can see officers actually running away from the scene, because, like I said, they don't know if this guy's armed, but the car obviously sees the spike strips and it's just going to drive around it. and look at the people, look at the crowd control, look what the officers have to deal with. Look at this. And as an
shopper there right now.
He stole this vehicle. He might have taken it by force. So there's a good possibility he's got a gun and he's willing to steal a vehicle. Now, I understand you're law enforcement, but are you going to walk up to that person knowing that he may have a gun in his lap or in the car somewhere? And that's the reason why they don't do it. You know, there we go. There's that U-turn. They could have, but, you know, we haven't heard that word. Take a look at the public response out here. This is Hollywood and Highland. Look at the crowd control. Look at this. This is just mounting issues for those officers, for any law enforcement. They have to worry about all these people now in the area, their safety, as well as the officer. Yeah, there you go. You've got a camera guy running around out there. Yeah, and that's obvious. Well, I'm not going to say obviously, but I believe that that's a stringer. But you know, you got to look at all this. All these factors are factoring into what that law enforcement, that first LAPD officer, and probably the other ones as well, what they have to deal with. There you go. There's another officer attempting that spike strip one more time. You know, tossing it out in front of him like that. You know, he's going to make that slow move again. We're moving Sky 9 around the best we can. We're pretty much up there. That is very dangerous also because those officers are right there. You do not want to see that car make contact. This lackadaisical attitude. You've got a guy right there, an officer, a trained professional. Don't get that ever wrong. But you know what? He's holding that spike strip and he's holding a gun, training a gun on this person that's driving that vehicle, a suspect. And then look back here. All these officers as well. Weapons drawn. And then you have to think to yourself, look at all these people, just innocent bystanders right now who think that this is some sort of spectacle because it is. Somebody driving their bike across the roadway right there as well. Now, yes, sure, of course, this is Hollywood. This is, you know, what some people think is in Hollywood all the time, but this is a very dangerous situation. Other officers right now trying to throw out some spike strips just in case he wants to back up. But if that guy backs up at any kind of speed, he's going to wind up hitting any one of those LAPD vehicles. You know, armchair observation. It might have been better to throw that spike strip in. There we go. There we go. That's where you put the spike strip. And you know, obviously that's a man with some stripes right there, so that's got to be a sergeant. So, you know, there you go. So if this car goes, we know he's probably going to get at least one flat tire out of this. But he sits here, and he's been taunting these officers all evening. We do see some green weapons out there, some less than lethal, but we also see a lot of guns out, real, you know, lethal weapons out. This is the first time we see the door pop open, so I'm kind of wondering what's going to go on. These guys, they just want to get out of the way. I don't blame them. They need to leave. Yeah. No, that's definitely that's not from the engine, and that's the old you know, smoke him if you got him, and he's obviously smoking. What's he smoking? Gosh only knows at this point, but definitely he's interacting. Yeah, he's definitely interacting though with the officers. And look at the crowd. Look at the crowds out here. Officers from the LAPD having to deal with that as well as they got the crowd away from this area right here. You know, LA. Yep. Officers, you know, being aggressive there, taking that suspect out of that vehicle, helping him to the ground there. They're going to be taking him into custody. It does seem like it's going to come to an end right now, and you know, curious to see, you know, how it's going to end. But one suspect being taken into custody right now, Hollywood and Highland. That is going to be a stolen vehicle suspect at best, at least. Sorry, and you know, may have been an armed suspect now out of the vehicle on the ground being taken into custody.